So today, Jerry West says he's not impressed with the Lakers signing one LeBron.
Me either.
Oh, get out.
Me either. Some things just give it to you.
Bitter party or two.
Whatever. Magic did whatever it took. He's really humble. He doesn't care. Yeah. Whatever you need to know.
Yeah. He's like, you see my house up there, LeBron? Up on top of the hill?
I'll wait. Full hour, though? Was it a full hour?
No, probably not. And Bill Russell is just doing what Bill Russell does.
I mean, it's all good.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
Welcome to Sports Nation, everyone. Oh, okay, so you know what I've been doing all week.
Crying?
Yeah.
You been crying?
One thug tear every day.
Oh, man.
One thug
You gonna be all right?
every day.
Just one. You gonna be all right, little red Corvette? You gonna be okay over there?
Somebody might get some snuff.
How do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah, you got one more day.
I got one more day here, and if I'm going, I'm taking all y'all with me. It's bigger than Nino Brown. Everybody going down.
All right, so let's get it started. We're going places with Toyota. Up first, in my feelings, just how I said I was a moment ago. Former Lakers star and current Clippers consultant Jerry West told Sports Illustrated that he's not impressed with the Lakers landing LeBron James in free agency, saying, all due respect to the Lakers who handled everything well, but as these things go, LeBron was not a tough free agent signing. LeBron wanted to come to L.A., and he wanted to come to the Lakers, period. Okay, so listen, no disrespect to the logo, but LeBron James is the best free agency signing for any team in the league, and you would have said the same if it were the Clippers. So, I say, Jerry West, please do not be so bitter. Marcellus,
yes.
First question for you. Do you think he's bitter or you agree?
No, I totally agree with him.
Of course.
Well, let me say this. I shouldn't say in totality. I'm impressed that the Lakers got LeBron James. In reality, that's the biggest free agent acquisition ever. Let's just be real about this, because he's even better than Michael Jordan was when he went to the Wizards. That said, how you got LeBron James, it wasn't this great recruiting pitch. It wasn't this great charisma in the room of Magic Johnson selling LeBron James. LeBron James chose the Lakers before the Lakers even can go out there legally and recruit LeBron James. So with that said, this is something that landed on their lap, and all they had to do is not mess it up. And kudos to them, they didn't mess it up.
But don't
Salty.
He is so
He is salty. Salty.
You can't do this around don't do this around a black man, you know what I'm saying? In his 40s.
That's right. Salty. You are so salty.
What?
He
said
is salty.
LeBron chose L.A.
He did.
Don't all players choose the team they want?
A large degree, I will give you that. Yeah, I mean, look, in free agency, when I've been there before, I'm like, I'm going here unless they mess it up. Kudos to the Lakers, Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka. They didn't mess it up. But don't act like they sold LeBron on L.A.
First of all,
Stop.
Let's do a quick history lesson. I did. I went back and looked at some of the comments that one Jerry West made when Shaquille O'Neal found his way to Los Angeles. And he
That wasn't hard.
And he talked about how hard it was to make room for Shaquille O'Neal. They were a 50-win team before he got there. They're the Lakers. They weren't in shambles and things like that. And Shaq signed up there. He talked about how hard it was to make sure things were in place in order for Shaq to sign. Let's look at what happened with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. This franchise was a mess. It hadn't been in the playoffs in years. Keep hitting. Salty, I say salty. Boy. It was a mess. Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka had less than 2 seasons to get the Lakers in position so that LeBron James would want to be a Laker. It's not simply about the Laker brand and about being in Los Angeles. They also had to prove they were competent enough to build a winner. They did that in less than 2 seasons. That is hard work, and I don't appreciate Jerry West discounting their hard work simply because LeBron had interest in Los Angeles.
I gave him credit.
Genius.
I gave the Lakers credit for how this worked. But look, let's just take this back to the most simple way of learning human dynamics, which is in a relationship. There are times when you're like, I have to go speak to her. There's times I got to walk across the room. There's times I got to let her know who I am, my resume, take her out, etc. And there are times...
Or him.
But I'm talking for me.
Okay.
Or him, but you can talk for you.
Okay.
But... I tell you, I'm leaving. But there are times... Well, there are times when you're like, wow, they just want me. No matter what, and all I got to do is not mess that up. That was this situation. LeBron already, he had a Blaze pizza in his Staples Center 2 years ago. Stop that.
It wasn't hard to get Shaq either, even though he tried to say it.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't that Shaq wanted to come to L.A.
Everyone knew that.
Shaq would spend he would be here all summer long. You knew that. He wanted to
But did y'all watch Shaq talk about it on his own documentary, saying, I wanted to stay in Orlando, I played that wrong, the ego got in the way, and they were trying to bid me up? Yeah, y'all remember that part?
After
nobody knows. Right, that's true.
Bron, do you love me? We're back in our feelings. As more details emerge of the Lakers signing LeBron James, Magic Johnson shares his story of how he arrived to LeBron James's home exactly 1 hour early. He was excited about meeting him. Magic in his own words, folks.
I was supposed to be there at 9:01, so I got there at 8:01. And so I was going to sit out there for an hour until it was my time to go up to his home.
Okay, so Ramona's joining us, and people are helping.
Hey,
Reggie, what you doing, Ramona? Hey, what's up, man?
Behind that brother behind you.
We were hoping that the sound was going to be long enough, but it wasn't. We needed more.
Because they didn't have much to say. That's the point. Magic didn't have much to say because LeBron already was sold on LA. That's
So
the
unruly. You're so unruly.
message.
Meanwhile, everyone knows that Ramona Shelburne was covering the story from beginning to end and had a lot of inside information. So Magic talks about how he got there an hour early. So take us through the art of the deal. Your reaction to what Magic is now telling us after the fact.
Well, look, first of all, I'm not surprised he got there early because this is a Pat Riley guy.
Right.
Right. Like, if you weren't a half hour early, you were late.
Yeah, right.
So I think the Lakers just had to not mess this up. LeBron was coming. I think they knew.
Thank you for folding. Can you tell these people?
Look, they've been positioning themselves by doing the right things for the last 18 months. This wasn't about...
You guys are both saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's the process.
So we'll walk you back.
Yeah.
We were having the Jerry West comment. We said Jerry West seemed salty. LZ had a really good point.
But Jerry West is always salty.
But do you think he was salty for saying that this was easy for the Lakers? Because it wasn't. As you just pointed out, it was 18 months.
18 months of getting yourself in a position where the Laker brand would then matter. Right? The Laker brand has always been there. Jerry West took advantage of the Laker brand when he recruited Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
Okay? Like when he was the general manager, like Jerry West knew how to sell it. But being able to sell that brand also means that you have to be healthy. Like you have to have a good roster, you have to have a good organization. You can have a franchise like the Lakers had where a couple years ago, I remember Byron Scott telling me I used to have a good relationship with Jeannie Buss before I was coach. Then I got to be the coach, and it was like I was not allowed to talk to her, right? Because it was seen as disloyal to Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss.
Gotcha.
That is not a functional relationship. That's not somewhere any free agent is going to want to play. They've had to spend the last 18 months getting their house in order. And I think that's what they've done. And Magic Johnson had to go there and not mess it up.
Yeah.
He had to have a vibe with LeBron. They had to be in the room, be able to talk to each other about players. And they had to understand, like, we've always been compared to each other. You know, LeBron's 6'8", Magic 6'9". They're kind of point guard types that play in a different position than you would think for their size. But from the Midwest, similar type backgrounds. Magic #1 overall pick out of Michigan State. LeBron #1 overall pick when he was coming out of high school. Like, they have been compared to each other forever, but it doesn't mean you see this game the same way. It doesn't mean that you have the same identity as a basketball player. And they had to get in a room and just, like, talk to each other, other than just legend to legend.
Okay, so, but Marcellus is under the impression that it was easy.
No, Ramona is saying exactly what I'm saying. The process and how they got LeBron was difficult, but that was internal. LeBron said is if you fix this like it used to be, if you take this to yesteryear, if you bring back that luster.
How difficult is that?
Look, it should have never lost. You should have never lost that luster. You should have never been in that place.
But they did.
And they cleaned house. But that was all LeBron needed to see. The recruiting pitch wasn't that. It was just, we are the Lakers again.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Walton, in the story that I posted yesterday on ESPN, had this funny line. He goes, well, we had to be prepared, right? Like, I know the Lakers, they had pitches ready. Like, Luke had a binder ready that if he had to talk to me. He goes, I actually had plays that if he asked me for some plays, he goes, but come on. LeBron doesn't need me to go over plays of how I'm going to use him. Right. You know, we're going to talk, okay?
LeBron's like, am I starting? Good, we got it.
Yeah. I'm the only starter.
But they had everything ready, but this wasn't about the pitch.
Yeah.
The pitch has been what have you done over the last 18 months.
Okay, so maybe I'm misinterpreting what the logo is saying. I'm thinking he's saying it was easy to sign LeBron, and I don't think it was easy because by way of facts and history, what Jeannie did to her Buss, even her brother, going back to getting rid of him, and then at the same time hiring Rob and getting Magic to come out and do it, that's a lot of hard work. And he knew all the while, they knew all the while, they wanted LeBron. They didn't do this just in circumstance. They knew that's who they wanted, a big agent, the biggest if possible.
Yeah, but hey, that's all rehab. We saying improve on the design, do something new. All they did was do something old, which is be the Lakers, which is great. LeBron
So if he signed with the Clippers, you'd be happy?
It wouldn't be easy. I'll tell you that.
What I loved about the Jerry West comments is that he was honest. Like, like you know, the question was, did the Clippers even have a chance? He was like, no, we didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Like he got it. Like that's look, he's not salty. He's honest.
That's how he is. He rolls like that.
Can he be both and not mutually exclusive?
Yes, that's right. He
can
be salty and still be honest.
Yeah, okay. Apparently, we need to move on because they're in our ear. Millennials.
Logo salty.
Youngsters. The youngsters.
Last night, a baseball fan posted a photo of Orioles slugger Manny Machado in a Yankees uniform with the caption, "Is this something you would like to see happen?" Manny Machado liked it. Earlier this week, I don't know if you saw this, maybe not, Jimmy Butler on social liked a comment that said, "Jimmy to the Spurs." So, Ramona, your take when these players are giving these, what I think is a subliminal message, liking photos that suggest they do want to be elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is the world, right? I'm sure the clubs hate it. I'm sure everybody hates it, like, who's in charge of them, right? But we have the same thing in our business, right? Like, if you like something, if you like somebody's post, ooh, right? Like, I think, like, what I'm saying, because, you know, first of all, like, Instagram, they really make it easy to creep on people, right? Like, you can go through who liked anything. Like, I mean, you learn a lot about people by seeing what they like.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I'm just, like, man, they need to get rid of that function.
We've been in your favorites.
Oh,
There's some serious privacy issues.
Just stay with
Like,
my DMs.
I think it's fine. Like, that's how players feel, and I actually like it when it's kind of out there because it confirms things. And then what I don't like is when people subtweet things and they're clearly expressing something and then they run away from it.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's, I don't want to say cowardly, but it feels as if in yesteryear when media would go to these athletes and ask if they want to be traded or go somewhere, they would say, no, I'm happy here, blah, 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 blah. But just like with social media, when you don't have anyone in your face, it's much easier just to go ahead and say something how you really feel. Now you're liking things, but I'm sure if they put a microphone to Manny Machado's face and says, do you want the Orioles to trade you to the Yankees? He would probably say something along the lines of,
contractually, you're not allowed to, though.
I'm happy to be here. This is where I'm playing, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it seems like there's two conflicting things. There's the social media self, which is true of all of us, and then there's the reality.
Yeah, unfair to compare eras just because of yesteryear there was no social media. And then you get into this situation. If people in general are allowed to like what they want, athletes are people, therefore they're allowed to like what they like. You can't get to a certain level of success and now become a prisoner of it because of everyone's criticism or awareness that you like. So if you come on my page, I don't care what you see, it's what I want on my page. If I'm an athlete out there right now, current day, I'm going to like what I like. And if you got a story about it, write it. But do not come to me and tell me to delete it or now say that I'm subtweeting when I'm just doing what I want to do on my page.
Okay, the biggest takeaway from this entire segment
I like what I like.
was honesty and salty are not mutually excusing.
Yeah,
So we are both the same. Who said that? Yes. Ramona, you upgraded us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
As usual.
As usual. Coming up next, folks, Sneakerhead is in the house. That's not Ramona. There is a Nick.
Hang in there.
Oh, there he is. He's in the back, hanging out. He's going to come on the show and talk about Clay. That's why we're showing Clay today.
Yeah, and Clay is winning overseas.
Is he really?
Yes.
What'd you say?
He's just trying to get free.
Sports Nation.